Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Legends and Non-Classics. This episode number 3039, Doubleshot number 2933. With this one, discussing quite interesting with this one. We're discussing 2 one-shots and the first 10 issues of Punisher Volume 3, and we're also discussing a Machine Man book. First up, which is Double Edge, Alpha, and Omega. Yeah, 2 bookend one-shots, and I've already discussed it between issues. Where this comes right after the ending of Punisher Volume 2, Punisher Wardrobe Volume 1, and Punisher Wardrobe Volume 1. This is basically what he did next, right afterwards. So basically, this book is basically S.H.I.E.L.D. captured the Punisher. Yep, they captured Punisher. There's also this guy called Spook, who is, from what I heard, is a Ghost Rider villain who just happened to appear in the story. And he mostly put, thanks to some therapy with Doc Samson, of people. Yes, Doc Samson, who I think this was the first time Punisher ever met Doc Samson. And he gets to fight with him, and Spook holds this picture up behind when he's standing in front of him, and a picture of Nick Fury with a gun and a kite. And this kind of warps Punisher's mind to thinking that Nick Fury was responsible for murdering his family back in his debut appearance. He really wasn't. And this leads into an issue of Incredible Hulk, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, and I think Daredevil. Yeah, Daredevil. And they come back here for the Omega issue, which supposedly he gets captured and supposedly gets executed, which leads into the ongoing series of Punisher by John Ostrander. Fun fact about this book. Did you know this actually is one of 2 books John Ostrander ever did for Marvel Comics? They are being Heroes for Hire. And you're thinking, really? Yeah, really. As for the reason for it, I don't really know. It's kind of weird. I'm not really sure exactly why John Ostrander, why it's like this with him. Like, when you think of John Ostrander, you think of Suicide Squad, and stuff with, okay, actually, no, it was one of 2 ongoings he worked on, yes, but he did work on other books. Most of them was a miniseries. His like the title Marvel was, I kind of forgot his stuff before, was very brief. He worked on 2 Bishop books, 2 Western comic books, a couple one-shots, an AF Wolverine, some issues of X-Men, but for an actual run, an actual start-to-finish book, yeah, only one of 2 books he worked on, the other being Heroes for Hire. Like X-Factor X Limited, he was just basically like a fill-in artist. He just basically one of the artists of that book, and writing annual and just write some issues, but actual run, yeah. Then, of course, basically, what is the premise of the first 10 issues of Punisher? Punisher joins the mob. Yes. By the way, the titles of the issues are, issues 1 through 10 are Condemned, Family, Hatchet Job, Clash, Firepower. Yeah, this guy got Firepower. Hostage to the Devil, He's Alive, Vengeance is Mine, Double Down, and One Last Shot Fired. Yes, this is basically a story that spans the first 10 issues of this volume. Yeah, basically, Punisher is broken out by this realm of crime fan. By the way, the art of this book is done by Tom Lyle, an excellent artist, by the way, who is noteworthy for doing artwork for Robin, and I believe did some work for Sensational Spider-Man. So after the whole events of Double Edge, he is sent to prison, presumably going to be executed. And then supposedly he... Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, Punisher loses his hair when he gets fried. Yeah, see all the cool hair he has? So Punisher loses, he goes bald. And it means like this for a lot of the books. Basically, he's faked his death. So now he joins the mob because he needs to be, because he's being forced. Also, he gets recognized by Bullseye. Yes, Bullseye is here. Also, they bring back in this book his sort of semi-love interest when Chuck Dix wrote the character. Rosa Cavallini, I think her name is. And she gets killed off in this book. Punisher's acted a bit irrational, so he basically just joins the mob. And he's acting as their enforcer. And this lasts, like, pretty much in the way, like I said. He's part of them for the first 10 years. Eventually his hair starts growing back. His hair is still not growing back after being fried. So, he has all of his gadgets, still bald, and his hair doesn't start growing back until issue 10. Yep. It's kind of a weird premise. Punisher becoming part of the mob is a weird premise. And it lasts the first 10 issues, then he quits from part of the mob, and that's when Onslaught happens. But very interesting set of issues. Aside from fighting Bullseye, he fights maybe like a couple other characters in this book. Oh, he does fight Daredevil in the book. Me. In case you're wondering, does he fight Spider-Man? I don't think he does, no. He does fight Jigsaw in this book. Yeah, Jigsaw's in this book. I think he's here for most of the first 10 issues. He kind of acts like Punisher's ally in this book, which is kind of weird. Yeah, Daredevil appears in issue 4. Excuse me. Also, we deal with, oh, by the way, Rosa Calaborn. She dies in issue number 5. We also deal with basically new character Firefox, who actually was debuted in the Soviet Super Soldiers one-shot. Yep, that's where he first showed up. And here he appears as a recurring character in this book for a very short period of time. Yes. He's here for issues 3 through 10, and then no scenes begin until Hawkeye Volume 3. And also, he ends up fighting Tombstone in this book. You think, wait, Punisher fighting Tombstone? Interesting. I would say that kind of makes sense due to the fact that Tombstone and Punisher are both characters created by Jerry Conway, but he only appears as the Punisher for issues 5, 9, and 10. Yeah, he doesn't appear in much book, but he is here. The character Mario Basari, yeah, he debuted in Spider-Man / Punisher Family Plot, and then he gets killed off this book. Oh, why would this affect Crime Family get killed off by the end of this run? Well, they stopped pairing by issue number 9. Yeah, by issue 9, basically, they pretty much, in a way, Punisher turns on them and just basically eviscerates the whole family. Yeah, they got all killed off. Well, basically, like, all except for Leslie Garcelli. Yeah, she will, in case you're curious, does she return after this book wraps up? Well, basically, by issue 10, she stops appearing. They do also have a character called Tom Nicholas, who basically been there since the beginning. Yeah, it's like any supporting character Punisher had in this book, yeah, they're pretty much gone by issue number 10. Yep, and then after, of course, basically a tie-in with Onslaught, then we begin our next arc, which we'll discuss another time. It's the Total Extinction story arc. And this will consume the rest of this book. And also, I should point out that by issue 7, that's when S.H.I.E.L.D. finds out Punisher's alive. And I guess they figure, oh crap, we got to end this when we get S.H.I.E.L.D. found that he's alive. Well, let's end this run anyways. Yep. But my rating for the first 10 issues of Punisher Volume 3, I give these roughly a 9 out of 10. Really good stuff here. Next up we have is Mashima, the Complete Collection by Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko. Yep. This book collects the entire 19-issue first volume for Machine Man, along with, get this, it also collects Incredible Hulk 235 2 plus material from 234. And Marvel Comics presents number 10. Now, by the way, the cover issues, they come at issue 9. You're thinking, this sounds very familiar. A book published for a brief period of time, goes on hiatus briefly, just so he can appear in issues of Incredible Hulk. Now you're probably asking, Nick, does that sound very familiar? It does. Because Marvel did the same thing with Captain Marvel. So for the first 9 issues, it is basically continuing where Jack Kirby left off with 2001: Space Odyssey. We have various stuff happen. But the best thing about this issue is the artwork. Of course, he has the military, obviously. But mostly put for the first half of this book, it is him just dealing with his own stuff. He does not interact with Marvel Universe at all until issue 10. Yes. Also, he has a dream when it's in his face. And reading this, it's like, it reads very similar to his run for New Gods. Yeah. Well, the military is still trying to find him. And that's kind of the premise of the first 9 issues of the book, where basically he's on the run from the military and fights a few different foes. And that's kind of the premise of the first 9 issues. And then, like I said, the book goes on hiatus for a few months because I think the book wasn't selling too well, so they decided, hey, why don't we just dump him Incredible Hulk for a few issues? Maybe people will be interested in him that way. I think in the case of why he was integrated, he's even on trial in issue number 7. But it just ties with the overall story in a nutshell. You can think of basically the first 9 issues as like a serialized story. That's one thing I appreciate about Jack Kirby. And then by issue 9, it's like, it's like basically final battle, because I think the book wasn't selling too well, so let's just dump over Incredible Hulk for a few issues, have him fight Incredible Hulk, and then eventually... Now, Incredible Hulk was actually the first character that he actually met in the Marvel comic universe, because he mostly was interacting with supporting cats. And I guess because Marvel liked this so much, let's bring the book back, except have more integrated in the Marvel universe. So then, of course, basically after he comes back and developing the Hulk, he gets rebuilt with a slightly updated new appearance. And of course, Jack Kirby does design this. I think so, because I think Kirby does the artwork here. No, it's actually Marv Wolfman takes over the writing duties. Yes, Kirby only did the first 9 issues of this book. Not really sure why he did that for, but he did. But yeah, he, yeah, and I think Steve Ditkio will remain the artist remainder of the book. What do you think? Okay, what was the first issue of this book where he interacts with the Marvel Universe as a whole? Well, he doesn't do anything with that with the very next issue, which is basically just him going to an insurance company for an issue. Yeah, and this issue was their debut, and they're here for pretty much the rest of the run. They do appear in issue Marvel Premiere 39. But in issue 12, he fights the Exicles. They apparently first appear here, and then they just... I'm going to get them to appear in Quasar. He works with an insurance company for a while. You think, okay, well, what's the first issue where he interacts with characters of the Marvel comic universe? Well, that still takes a bit. He mostly just deal with other characters just associated with this very book. And finally, by issue 15, he does encounter the Fantastic Four. By issue 16, we have a debut of the Satan Squad. Yep, this is pretty much their debut, and they appear in the very next issue of the series. Now, Tom DeFalco takes up writing duties this book with issue number 15. You think, wait a minute, so Kirby does the first 9 issues, Wolfman does basically 10 to 14, and 15 is Tom DeFalco. That could explain why Fantastic Four is here. In 16, now, what about the characters like Barry Brimstone? Does he return after this? Oh, heck yes. Yes, he does. Because after this two-parter, after issue 16, he next appears in Marvel Team 99, an issue of Avengers, Fantastic Four, and issue Heroes for Hire. Hammer Harrison. He appears in a few other comics. Apparently, he's one of the few criminals to land a punch on Spider-Man. And Snake Marson. He appeared a little more than the other two guys did. He appeared after issue 16. Next appeared in Marvel Team 38, an issue of Daredevil, a few issues of Thunderbolts. His last appearance was in Devil's Reign Moon Knight. Yes. In issue 17, we debuted the character Madam Menace. A character who became Sunset Bean. Yes, in the pages of Dan Slott's Iron Man book. Who Slott had killed off during the events of Iron Man 2020. Issue 18. He has accounts with Alpha Flight. Yep, Alpha Flight. And the final issue is an historic issue. And I was thinking, how is 19 a historic issue, you might ask? I'll tell you the reason why, because it is quite laughable the fact that this is an historic issue. Aside from the fact it's a final issue book, and the covers are by Frank Miller. But there's a character appears in this book who, for some strange reason, becomes a popular character for Spider-Man. So I was like, wait, why would the Spider-Man character first appear on pages of Machine Man? And that character is Jason McIndale, aka the Jack-O-Lantern, the original one. Yep. Yes, believe it or not, this book is the debut of Jack-O-Lantern, who fights Machine Man this issue, and then he pops up in Spectacular Spider-Man after this in a hospital bed, and apparently they can't remove his suit because reasons. You think, wait, he appears in this book and then he appears in Peter Parker's Second Spider-Man? Yes, for some reason the Falcon decided to dump him as Spectacular Spider-Man as a supporting character. Probably the man is dead. Well, he was dead anyways, he came back. Yeah. But we're not done just yet with Machine Man. But that is the end of the first volume. Yes. So. But we're not done just yet with this book. Nope. So we do have one last thing to talk about here. That being Marvel Comic Sense number 10. Where we have a Machine Man story where he fights another robot. Now you're probably thinking, who wrote this one per se? Let me find out here. Okay, this Machine Man story is done by Steve Ditko and Mike Rockwitz. Yep. But it is a good story. It is mostly put the first appearance of Failure 5. It is a robot who Machine Man fights for the story, and that's it. Yeah, but not much else talking about this one. But I'm going to give this book here a 10 out of 10. Yep, so that's pretty much a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit this like button. Well, when I get back to these two books, Machine Man is on Volume 2. For publisher, it's basically on to the rest of his third volume of the series. Okay, thanks for you. Bye.